it was on a very deep level, and I discovered things that I never knew existed in the field of animation, right?
Nice.
Which is what it kind of humbles you when you learn things, because like I'm at a point where I could argue I know a decent bit about animation, right? But at the same time, I know there's things out there that I don't know about, and I'm curious to learn about it, because
Sure.
I was when I read these books, I read these extremely theoretical, extremely like metaphorical understandings of animation and certain theories that we've done. Like, why draw this character in a certain way? Like,
Yeah.
why does he have to have a square jaw and a circle jaw or a heart shape? Like, there's a theoretical understanding for why these characters have these specific traits.
Okay.
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 So, and there's always emotions attached to it. There's
Yeah.
always this attitude attached to it. There's a perception attached to it.
Yeah.
Where if you see, like, let's say, if you looked at Jafar as a character, right, from Aladdin, you
Yeah.
know he's evil off the bat. Like, you don't, when you look at him just posing with the little stick like that and the
Yeah.
goatee, he's not a good guy. Like,
Interesting. Yeah, that's actually true because when my first impression of Jafar was
right.
slightly evil, but then it's
Yeah,
also the impact of the surrounding environment around. Whenever
yeah.
Jafar popped up on the screen, there was always a noise behind him that was
Yeah, yeah.
slightly
So sound
scary.
is a very big element to it,
Yeah,
and I cannot talk about sound because that's
because
actually
it's a
my
different
my
department.
lack. That's why I love this industry. It's so collaborative, because when I work with sound, I don't know anything about it, so I'm just like, you guys do
So,
it, and
yeah,
if it sounds great, it sounds great, because I
yeah,
don't know. Their working is a whole other thing that I can talk about, but let's not get into that stuff.
yeah, yeah,
But so Jafar, right? Now, if you were to put like Scar from Lion King, and by the way, Scar and Jafar was designed by the same person, Andreas
which
Deja.
is wow,
Yeah.
which is so
If now
interesting
if
because
after
now,
if you go back and have Jafar and Scar open in your monitor, right? You'll see the similarities in the lean, thin. You've got these little tapering faces.
yeah, yeah,
So it was the same as Andreas Deja. He's
wow,
a legend.
wow,
So if you were to put Mufasa and Scar in like in a frame, anyone with a cerebral capability can be like, Mufasa is good, Scar is bad. You
Interesting. Okay,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
they look pleasant. This color. There's also like there's a scar on his face.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and he's got this menacing look. He's always got this squint. He doesn't have a pleasant look in his eyes when his eyes are relaxed. He's always got the skin. He's got this pain in him. You can say. You can say
Sure.
the irritation in an evil character saying that why this is not working out for me.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that you kind of get into the emotional state. So there's a lot that goes into every little thing in filmmaking or animation films. Where if you like, there are things as I when I talk about it, right? I've had my mom be like, "Oh, I wish I know about this stuff when I'm watching it." I was like,
yeah,
"No, the point is you watch it from an audience perspective. You watch because I have this curse now. I cannot watch a movie or anything without
yeah,
dissecting it subconsciously. Like, I'll be
yeah.
watching it and I'll just like I'll look at the shadow and I'll be like, "Oh, that shadow is a little, it looks different." And things my mom's like, "What shadow?" I'm like, I'm like, "You see that?"
Yeah, it's
So
right there.
it's
But then for you, it's so apparent because
yeah, yeah.
you
Well,
work on it,
that's
and that's
yeah.
that's part of
Well,
your
not even things that you work on, even things that you watch
going to
as a
see. Yeah,
because you understand how that frame was built. You
yeah,
understand how they made it. So your brain just automatically just puts it in different layers, and you're like, oh, I see all these little. We call them passes, like
yeah,
where you put like the smoke pass and all that. I don't want to get into technicals, but
yeah,
so um, when you look at this image, right, there's so much that goes into it. There's so much thought that goes into every, like, I just talked about Scar or a character's face, right?
yeah,
There's everything. There's like how wide are his shoulders, and et cetera, et cetera. Anatomy is a very crucial thing. Like you were talking about, when you see my characters, they have a specific finesse, because that's because I've spent, again, 10,000 hours working on anatomy. Like, I know what muscles are called. Like, I've read a lot of biology books and
mm,
learned about how muscles work. Because when you animate something, you have to, like, yeah, you can exaggerate a little bit or a lot, but you have to still keep it within the parameters of how a body would work. You
sure.
cannot bend an elbow the other way. That's like, basics, right?
Mm,
So
mm,
and thing is, to do that, you need to understand how this joint works. You
got
need to
it.
understand how those ligaments work in your knees, because that snap, and when you're walking, when you walk, when you step, so I wish like I had prepared a presentation or something. I
No,
want to
but
show you because I want
but
to show you these frames and stuff. I'll show you that probably like like I'll just send you a document or like
yeah,
check this out.
what I will do, Vinod, is all the links to your work. I will be including it in the show notes. So
Right.
if there's anything that you want me to link in
Oh
addition
no,
to
this is
the
not about my work. This is just
just the
general,
got it. Okay.
like maybe I could recommend books for people to read.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
like so, but anyway, so like there's so much that goes into it. A little nitpicky about everything, right? And then when you put all these things together, because when you look at a frame, you're looking at like a forest, jungle, whatever, city, something. If you watch this movie Into the Spider Verse that came out 2 years ago,
Yep, yep.
so that one, every billboard was thought out
Mm,
in like if you do like it'll be the fastest camera movement, you will not even see that billboard, but that billboard was thought out.
interesting.
There's a story behind that billboard. There was like, oh yes, that's like the ramen place next to my house or something like that. It's like it's very personal to whoever did it.
Mm.
So we yeah, all the time we add stuff. Like I think my roommates are in a bunch of movies where I've designed them as characters who are just walking by in the background somewhere. So
Like,
like every little thing, and it's so wild. I mean, I'm sure you must have seen these making of videos of Pixar movies and
yeah,
Disney and the Easter eggs and stuff like that. Those Easter eggs are just pure fun because you're just
yeah.
like, oh, let's put Vin Diesel in there, and because now he's trending now with this whole, I have a family and whatnot.